up to $1,000 cash back on most new 1987 GM cars and on GMC S15 pickups and Jimmys and Chevy S10 pickups and Blazers. GM's big one is back, but not for long.
Let's go!
Perkins introduces 5 new best.
You are watching WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul. The Twin Cities' most watched newscasts. With Pat Miles, Don Shelby, Mike Fairbourne has weather, and Mark Rosen with sports. And now, this is the 10 p.m. report.
Good evening, everyone. Debbie Ely is in here tonight for Pat. A St. Paul Marine found guilty tonight of turning against his country.
A jury of Marines convicted Clayton Lonetree tonight on 13 counts of espionage.
All of this stemmed from Lonetree's work at the United States Embassy in Moscow, where he was accused of turning over secrets to a Soviet woman with whom he fell in love. Skip Loescher just back from Quantico, Virginia, in our Washington newsroom. Skip.
Don, a few minutes past 8 tonight, Twin Cities time, the 8-officer jury returned, and its president uttered the words that Lonetree and his attorney hoped they would never hear. Guilty of conspiracy to commit espionage. Guilty of espionage. Guilty of all 13 counts against him. A few minutes later, his attorneys emerged, charging, as they have throughout this court-martial, that Lonetree did not get a fair trial. How did the 25-year-old St. Paul Marine take the verdict?
But he was like a Marine. He took it, and he took it well. Put our arms around each other and hugged each other. And I think that probably says more than any words. I think the Marine Corps and the Marine Corps justice failed him. And I think in the long run, we'll be able to prove a great deal of that. But it's a fight that I shall engage in during all of the remaining years of my life.
His mother was visibly angry at the
All
verdict.
he was doing is he was being honest, and he turned himself in, and look at how he's treated. He's not a traitor. He turned himself in.
Moments later, Sergeant Lonetree emerged, handcuffed and flanked by Marine Corps guards. He'll return to the same brig where he has spent the past 7.5 months, but now he has been convicted of espionage. On Monday, the same jury will return to decide his sentence. He could spend the rest of his life in prison. His attorneys say they will appeal through other military courts and then all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, if necessary. Don?
Skip, we heard some applause, at least it sounded to me like applause, as Clayton Lonetree was led then out to the waiting cars. Can you tell us what that applause was?
The applause was from Michael Stuff, from William Kunstler, from Lake Headley, the investigator, and from his family. They clearly feel that Lonetree was railroaded, that he was simply the scapegoat so that the U.S. State Department, the CIA, and the Marine Corps could keep its dealings going with another double agent, a man that Lonetree knew as Uncle Sasha, and to whom Lonetree turned over classified information.
Skip, read nothing into my question, and I hope no one else does, but I know there will be a lot of people in the Indian community who support Clayton Lonetree and his attorneys to continue to ask this question. Is it possible that Clayton Lonetree was railroaded?
Anything is possible, Don. I can't tell you that it is not possible. I can't tell you it was. I can tell you there were strong feelings. I can also tell you that the defense presented absolutely no witnesses. Lonetree said that he, or at least his lawyers say, that he wanted to testify, to tell his story, but they talked him out of it because they felt he would not hold up under cross-examination, that he would break down. The defense was weak. I listened to the entire defense case, and clearly it was not a strong case, at least without Clayton Lonetree testifying.
Not to be argumentative, Skip, certainly not with you, but it seems that we in the public were denied a lot of the prosecution witness testimony. Will Kunstler and Will Stuff somehow try to bring that to the public's attention? We honestly do not know the bulk of the testimony against Clayton Lonetree.
That's right. You don't, and neither do the reporters covering the trial. We were kept in a building about 2 blocks away, had to watch it on closed-circuit television. When they went to classified material, they simply turned us off, too. Kunstler and Stuff, though, are under orders, direct orders from the judge here, and I'm sure those orders will be continued for them not to talk about classified information. If they talk, there will be a move to put William Kunstler and Michael Stuff in jail.
Final question. When will we know, once again, whether he will serve life in prison?
We will know that sometime next week. The jury will begin those deliberations on Monday.
Very well, Skip. Thank you.
A young man was shot to death by a Minneapolis police officer tonight on Bryant Avenue North. It happened about an hour and a half ago in the 2900 block. Eyewitnesses at the scene say 2 police officers confronted someone who displayed a weapon. The police fired shots when it appeared the weapon might be turned on them. Just what led to the confrontation is unknown at this point. Tonight, a 6-year-old East Bethel girl is missing, believed to have been kidnapped from her bed as her family slept.
The search for Nicole Mau has been called off until tomorrow morning. A suspect has been arrested. He denies any involvement and says he doesn't know where the little girl is. Here's what happened. The Anoka County Sheriff believes Nicole was taken from her bed between the time her parents went to sleep at 2 o'clock this morning and 4 a.m. when her father left for work, noticing she was not in her room. At 9 o'clock this morning, Nicole's mother received a phone call. The voice said, and we quote here, "Hello, Ma, this is Mickey. I'm fine. I'm with Ron." Sheriff's deputies arrested an East Bethel man shortly after 1 o'clock this afternoon. He is a suspect because he and Nicole's grandfather recently had an argument, and he is the only person the family knows with the name Ron. Tonight, officers searched an area of East Bethel north of the Twin Cities. Now, Trish Van Pilsum is standing by live with the latest on this story.
Don, as night fell, hopes of finding Nikki Mau safe dimmed. Sheriff's deputies called off the search about 8:30 when it became simply too dark to see. About 25 people combed an area about 5 miles in radius between the spot where Nikki Mau was kidnapped and the spot where the suspect was arrested.
Right here, John. You see me? Okay, great. Okay.
Volunteers on foot walked through cornfields looking for any trace of the 6-year-old. A deputy also searched from the air using Channel 4's helicopter, concentrating on lakes and streams in the area. Investigators believe the suspect may have stopped at a body of water to wash up. Police turned up no sign of the girl and were not able to trace the suspect's steps.
Anytime you go on a search like this here, looking for someone, especially a 6-year-old child, it's especially frustrating to all the people that are working for me that have children that age.
While deputies searched, a friend of the suspect talked with us under the condition we not use her name. She said she does not believe the suspect kidnapped the child.
No, I don't believe he is. No, I don't believe he is. No, with all my heart, I don't believe he is. You don't believe he's guilty? No, he couldn't have done it.
We did learn, however, tonight that the suspect was released this spring from Stillwater State Prison, where he was serving a sentence for kidnapping and aggravated assault. He was seen last night carrying a knife. Now, the search for Nikki Mau begins tomorrow morning about 7:30. Sheriff's deputies will concentrate in the same area, but they will have a longer period of daylight and hope to cover more ground. Don?
So as I understand it, Trish, then this is something, at least as it stands now, something of a domestic dispute, something of an extended family dispute, not someone running around a neighborhood taking children.
It did not appear to be a random kidnapping. The suspect knows the family, knows Nikki Mau's family. There was an argument leading up to the kidnapping, and that seems to have precipitated this.
All right, Trish, thank you very much. Here's a description of 6-year-old Nicole Mau. She has shoulder-length blonde hair, hazy green eyes. Nicole is 3.5 feet tall, and her mother believes she was wearing bedclothes when she was taken.
We've been trying to find out as much as we could tonight about this little girl who's missing. Terry Sater spent some time with Nicole's parents, and he's in our newsroom. Terry?
Debbie, the Mau's home is very secluded and surrounded by trees. Nicole's father, Mike Mau, explained to us tonight how he believes his daughter was kidnapped. Mau says the doors on the house were probably locked, but it wouldn't have mattered.
We just pulled the screen out of that window right there, right next to the big door, stepped into the bedroom, grabbed the child, and walked right back out. Never went into any other part of the house.
Mau says his daughter often gets up in the middle of the night and sleeps in other rooms of the house. So nothing seemed out of the ordinary when he checked her room early this morning, and she was gone. Pam Mau says she didn't know her daughter was missing until she asked her 2 sons where Nicole was, and they didn't know. Then she received the terrifying phone call.
All of a sudden the phone rang and I answered it and she said, "Mommy?" She said, no, she said, "Who is this?" And I said, "Well, who is this?" And she said, "This is Nikki." And I said, "Nikki who?" She said, "Nikki Mau." And I said, "Where are you?" And she said, I'm with Ron, and I'm okay.
That's the last time Mau heard from her daughter. She says Nicole is a sound sleeper and may not have woken up when she was abducted. But Mau says even if Nicole was awake, she's very talkative, friendly, and she knew the suspect. So Nicole probably wouldn't have put up a struggle.
Yeah, she comes and crawls in bed with me in the mornings after Daddy goes to work. And she didn't do that this morning. I love her. I want her back home.
Nicole's parents believe their daughter was wearing only a T-shirt and underpants when she was taken this morning. And of course, Debbie and Don, those parents spoke with a lot of hope tonight when they told me their 6-year-old daughter is supposed to start preschool this fall. Debbie?
Terry, are the parents doing anything on their own to conduct a search of their own?
Well, the father said when he found out this morning that his daughter was gone, he immediately started searching the neighborhood and started tracking down the leads that he thought might be connected to the case. And he said he helped lead the police to the suspect. Debbie?
Okay, thank you, Terry. If you have any information that could help find Nicole Mau, you were asked to call the Anoka County Sheriff's Department. Their number is 427-1212. That is 427-1212. A break in a St. Paul home burglary spree with the arrest today of 33-year-old David Hobbs. Police have linked Hobbs to 31 home burglaries in St. Paul's Merriam Park. He has supposedly confessed to at least 18. The burglaries happened in the wee hours of the morning as the victims slept.
But it seems to be worse. I don't know if they watch what's going on or what, but yes, it has been worse in the last few years.
Police say they caught Hobbs through stolen property traced back to him. Hobbs faces formal charges on Monday.
This talk about Gary Hart running again for president is getting a lot of play around the country, all thanks to Hart's former campaign manager, William Dixon, who repeated today on a Denver radio station what he said yesterday.
Is Senator Hart considering getting back in the race? Yes, I believe so. Is he likely to get in? Yes, I believe he'll get into the race in the next 30 to 60 days.
Hart has been vacationing in Ireland with some of his family members. He would not say if he'd run, but the plot thickened when he said he had to leave early for business back in the States. Many are saying all the publicity about Hart and Donna Rice will prevent him from running again, but the person who Hart's local strategist tells us tonight he thinks that it is a real possibility that Hart could run again.
Coming up, the investigators, the evidence move away from Detroit, and kids are feeling the effects of a flu that only seems to hit them in the summer.
Get your attention.
Wait till I'm done with this.
Introducing the cool twist from Hardee's. Chocolate and vanilla together or apart. All new, all from Hardee's.
I hate back-to-school sales. Well, school's all right, but it's the sales I hate. You know, your mom drags you everywhere and makes you try on school clothes. And then she acts like pencils and notebooks are a big deal. Well, at least she stopped buying me cartoon lunchboxes. Well, I like Best Buy's back-to-school sale. They've got TVs, stereos, cameras, other cool stuff, real cheap. Well, I'm going to Best Buy to buy myself a boombox with the money I earned this summer. It beats another lunchbox.
Now, this is my kind of ice cream. Real smooth, you know? You'll never catch me eating any of that frozen yogurt.
Surprise! It's Yoplait. New Yoplait soft frozen yogurt.
Not ice cream. Ice cream. Say ice cream. Ice cream. You got it right.
Surprise! It's Yoplait. New Yoplait soft frozen yogurt.
The $100,000 Canterbury Cup. Last year, it was won by a Minnesota-owned horse named Smile, who went on to become a national champion. And who will win the Canterbury Cup this year? You will. Just come out for the big race this Sunday, August 23rd, and you'll receive a free Canterbury Cup, the first in a collector series. The Canterbury Cup. This year, everybody will get one.
The focus of the investigation into the Northwest airline crash now switches to the nation's capital. The head of the National Transportation Safety Board's probe is bringing the data back to NTSB headquarters in Washington for further study.
We're looking into the question of procedures and checklists and all of that. I can't comment on until we've done it.
Though authorities are almost certain that wind shear did not cause the crash, it may take months to figure out what did. It only took hours for the first gifts to arrive for the little girl who survived the crash. And tonight, the cards, letters, and presents continue to pour in at the Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, where Cecilia Sheehan continues to recover from her injuries and from the skin graft surgery she underwent yesterday.
The State Health Department says a kind of summer flu is hitting harder than normal this year. They call it an enterovirus, and there are 65 confirmed cases so far. Headaches, fever, achy muscles are among the symptoms. Health and Science reporter Tony Vigneri says the virus hits every year, but for some reason it's hitting harder this year.
At this St. Paul daycare center, Tylenol stands ready. Several kids here have caught the enterovirus, better known as the summer flu bug.
It's just started to hit the school here where temperatures are starting to show up in the children later afternoon when they wake up from their naps.
The enterovirus is a difficult one to identify because it attacks in so many different ways. It enters through the intestinal tract. Children usually get a fever, but they may also have muscle aches and sometimes a runny nose.
So far, the lab here at St. Paul Children's has been able to confirm 29 cases of the enterovirus. But doctors believe that's only a small percent of the actual number of people in the Twin Cities, both children and adults, that have the virus.
These viruses are associated with very mild, transient illnesses, so that the cases that we see in the hospital that require laboratory testing reflect only a very small proportion of the total number of cases.
If you get the enterovirus, you could have one or all of the following symptoms: fever, headaches, muscle aches, stiff neck, a rash, blisters, and a runny nose. Plus, doctors say the virus could make you lethargic and short-tempered.
Push the button.
The best treatment: bed rest, drink plenty of fluids, and hope for an early fall. Tony Vigneri, WCCO Television News, St. Paul.
If you feel yourself coming down with the bug, hang in tough. Doctors say it usually runs its course in 3 to 5 days.
The Twin Cities unemployment rolls grew by 120 names today as Samaritan Hospital in the Midway area of St. Paul closed its doors for good. Health East had announced its intention to shut down the facility earlier this month, taking many employees by surprise.
The reality is kind of hitting home today. I think people are either laughing or crying or whatever they can do to release some of the tension of the fact that the hospital's closing. So.
Health East will assist as many employees as possible in finding new jobs. The building will be converted into offices.
The People's State Bank of Mazeppa closed its doors this afternoon, but the state commerce officials blamed too many poor quality loans and assets. The bank will reopen tomorrow as a branch of the First State Bank of Red Wing. You paid less for your food last month than the month before. The government says lower food prices helped slow the inflation rate to its lowest level in the year, 0.2% in the month of July. It also appears that a lot more people eating out at E-Diners. The restaurant company says revenues jumped almost 12% in the third quarter compared with last year, and so far this year, revenues have jumped almost 30% for E-Diners. You can have the pet without the mess. We'll have that for you coming up in just a moment.
Paris, France.
Dream on.
We'll work with you. French bread, French champagne.
Yeah, French fries, maybe?
We'll do our best. Remember my Norwest money market account? We're going.
We're really going?
Unless, of course, you want to. We are going.
It's your call. You can enjoy the fresh baked quality from Domino's Pizza or take your chances with the Noid. You can have pizza made to your order, or you can count on our famous 30-minute delivery, or you can taste the quality from Domino's Pizza, so avoid the Noid. Domino's Pizza delivers. Call now.
Hi there.
We were going to put this on the shelf of the family room, and then we realized that we'd have to drill a hole through the back of the bookshelf, to get
Highland's 30-day, no questions asked return policy means just that. No questions asked. Right now, this Kenwood 100 watts per channel stereo system with equalizer is just $649, and it's backed by Highland's 30-day return policy. Highland, nobody gives you more, and nobody but nobody sells for less.
The Vikings battle the Colts Saturday on Channel 4.
Now, we turned the air off tonight at our house.
Turned the air off at our house, too. I think the power went out, my wife.
Oh, no.
That'll turn it off quickly. Yeah, we don't need it as much out there. We are slowly drying out. The humidity is still up there quite a bit, but slowly dropping anyway. And that will continue overnight. Tomorrow, will you need the furnace? Well, maybe not. Earlier this afternoon, we started out with a bang. We had a thunderstorm up to the north of us that produced 3/4-inch diameter hail before it moved on to the east. This one out here, out around Clarkfield, dropped baseball-sized hail for a brief period of time. As that system approached the Twin Cities, it just kind of dissipated and fell apart, and we canceled the watch that was issued earlier this afternoon about 4 hours ahead of when it was supposed to expire at 9 o'clock tonight. You can see, though, we had a lot of cloud cover over us. The clouds moved on to the east fairly rapidly. We even saw a sunset tonight as the clouds pushed on to the east and the sun broke out to the west, and right now we're looking at mostly clear skies. Live radar right now shows a big area of ground return, false echo here in the center part of the screen, but nothing showing up all the way around, so skies are clearing and it looks like we're in for a nice weekend. High temperatures today, 80s and 90s to the south of us. We were only in the 70s for high temperatures today, held down by that cloud cover, but where the sun was out, temperatures climbed into the 80s, even the 90s, not too far from the Twin Cities area, just down in Iowa. High temperature today, 77 degrees. The average is 80, low of 67. A trace of rainfall fell at the airport, and sunrise in the morning will be at 6:23. Sunset tomorrow night at 8:09, as those old days are really shrinking up now. For tomorrow, the cold front that produced the at least threat of severe weather over the cities today is going to push on to the east coast. Showers and thunderstorms there. High pressure, though, building in over us will produce a nice clear weekend, and it is going to turn cooler, that's for sure. High temperatures only in the 70s forecast for the weekend. Our northern friends up there will see temperatures only in the 60s and overnight lows down into the 40s, maybe even some scattered 30s over the weekend. So it is going to be much, much cooler across much of the upper Midwest. Still hot in the south. Lake Minnetonka was pretty around sunset tonight, as you can see. Some boaters out enjoying the tranquil weather that we finally got after the threat of the thunderstorms. Right now we are clear. Temperature 73 degrees, humidity 79%, dew point 66. Those winds are picking up now to the northwest, 18 miles an hour, barometer 29.96, and it's rising. Well, the rest of the night, clear to partly cloudy, 58 for an overnight low. Tomorrow, we'll see us recover to 77 degrees under mostly sunny skies, but it'll be less humid. The only thing is it's going to be windy. Northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. Then tomorrow night, mostly clear and 52, and Sunday, mostly sunny, only 75 for high. The extended outlook then drops us down to around 70 on Monday and slowly warms us back up to around 75 on Wednesday. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. That's almost fallish, I guess, not quite.
Wouldn't it be nice to carry this weather into State Fair next week?
Yeah, but we always turn hot again during the State Fair.
Usually have one real blistering day.
And we always have one day of thunderstorms, and we could go on and on.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
Here's the latest in house pets. It looks like a dog, barks like a dog, acts like a dog, but it's really a video cassette.
Video Dog, the full, rich experience of owning your own pet without the mess and inconvenience of the real thing.
Video Dog is a $20, 20-minute cassette you can program to fetch, roll over, and bark according to voice command. The nice thing is you never have to take it for a walk. Its creator says that it should make a smash with the yuppies.
Oh, my. Hey, one problem with those cassettes, though, they do shed. You know, you had...
Hi, Ralph. Dog days for the Twins, too, I'll say that. You know what? They should have stayed home and gone fishing. They went for Roger Clemens' fastball, hook, line, and sinker tonight. 4th straight road loss. Highlights are coming up next.
Be at the Dome Saturday, August 22nd, as we kick off our home schedule with a preseason game against the Indianapolis Colts. Get your first look at the Vikings as we gear up for what should be an exciting season. Come to the Dome and enjoy Vikings football. Call Dayton's at 375-2987 or or the Vikings ticket office at 333-8828 and reserve your seats now for the Vikings preseason action against the Indianapolis Colts. Tickets are selling fast, so call now.
Suppose I ought to send this old thing out and get it reupholstered. But I won't give up my comfort for even one day. Just like I won't give up my U.S. West Direct Yellow Pages. It looks like this because I use it. It's the only place I find exactly what I want. These U.S. West Direct folks have been around a long time. I use their book because it's the only one I feel comfortable with.
U.S. West Direct, the one that gets used.
Follow the rainbow for a golden deal. Right now, follow the rainbow to Toyota. Your Toyota dealer has special deals with Toyota value like never before. Like the Tercel, a great resale record at a low, low price. Or the sporty MR2, once again, one of America's top 10 cars. Follow the rainbow to a great value, the Corolla FX. Right now, you can make a golden deal on the car you want. Just follow the rainbow to Toyota Golden Deal Days. On now at your Toyota dealer.
Honey, where's Joey?
He's getting something out of the freezer.
Oh, no, not the Shamantoff.
Those fruit and cream bars?
Yes, those are for us.
Don't worry. He'll never find them. I hid them real well.
Oh, he'll find them.
He won't find these.
You know Joey.
Trust me.
Shamantoff, the super premium bar.
It would be nice to know what is the matter with the Twins when they hit the road. They have now been outscored 37-6 in their 4 games on this road trip. Boston 11, the Twins 3 tonight. Roger Clemens wins his 13th. Viola loses his 8th. First inning gave the Twins an idea that Clemens meant business. Bingo, bango, bongo here. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. 1, 2, 3. It is Bush, then Lombardozzi, and then Puckett. First 3 Twins, all Ks, 9 total for Clemens tonight. Bottom of the first inning, Boston bats show Frank Viola they mean business. Dwight Evans with a single gave the Red Sox their first run, and rookie Mike Greenwell was Goliath for Boston. He had 3 hits tonight. This one makes it 2-zip in the bottom of the first. Greenwell also with a pair of singles. And the Twins did manage a couple of runs, a towering home run by Tom Bernansky in the 8th inning off Boston reliever Wes Gardner. That made it 8-3, but it was too late, too little, and the Twins come up 11-3 on the short end. That's 4 straight losses this road trip, 2 more in Boston, but then it's back home to the Dome on Monday night. Number 36 for Paul Molitor tonight. His hitting streak continues and is the 6th longest in baseball history. It happened in front of the old home crowd in Milwaukee in the 4th inning against Kansas City.
Hits this one hard in the gap to right center field. That's going to be number 36 for Molitor. Here he goes into second base, and he's going to stop there with a double.
Well, the double came off Danny Jackson of the Royals. Molitor will try to tie for the 5th longest streak tomorrow. The Brewers also a tremendous effort from left fielder Rob Deere. Watch this catch. Deere sacrificed arm and legs and neck for that grab. And it is New York and Oakland scoreless. They are in the 3rd inning now. Toronto, California scoreless in the 2nd. Milwaukee is 3-zip over Kansas City in the 8th inning. And Detroit losing to Cleveland in the 1st inning there of the 2nd game, but it was Cleveland 12-4 in the 1st of that doubleheader. Other games, Chicago 5-1, a lead in the 9th inning over Texas. Seattle-Baltimore a 1-1 in the 3rd inning. National League, awesome Andre Dawson goes downtown in Chicago today twice. This blast out of Wrigley Field with his 40th of the year. Tops in the majors, Mark McGwire of Oakland, just like Jack Benny, holding at 39. A lucky fan will cherish that one from Dawson. The Mets had a rough night in New York. Wally Backman booted this San Diego ground ball to allow a run in a 6-2 loss. And the bumbling carried over on a non-playing personnel of the Mets here. The ball girl follows up with a pretty good error of her own here. Oh, look out. The young lady probably never imagined she'd be on television in Minneapolis. In the National League, St. Louis over Cincinnati 2-1. San Francisco downs Montreal 6-3. San Diego, as we said, over the Mets 6-2. Cubs 7-5 over Houston. L.A. 3-2 in the 3rd. And Atlanta 5-4 over the Pirates. You may think the most exciting day for the Minnesota Golden Gophers football team is an upset over Michigan, or maybe a bowl appearance. Wrong, oh, it was today, Media Day. 42 returning lettermen joined first-year players and others to meet the press at the Dome. They sure must be excited about meeting the press. Tomorrow they have more fun in store for the workouts. One player who can't wait to get going is quarterback Ricky Foggy. Wants to see how his injured shins hold up, and he wants to forget the NCAA investigation about a plane ticket.
I got my uniform on today, so if I was putting in this first, and I don't think I would have been here today, but, you know, I'm taking about my positive attitude, as I always do. And, you know, I'm looking forward to playing this fall.
The investigation concerns payment of a ticket could result in a 2-game suspension for Foggy. We want to congratulate Pete Rasmussen of Eden Prairie.
What'd he do?
Pete Rasmussen had a hole-in-one in Springfield at the golf course down there. Not a hole-in-one on a par 3. This was on a par 4, 296 yards. So he said he's also had one on a par 3, so now he's working on a par 5. Nice going, Pete.
296.
296.
We'll see him on the circuit. Next, tonight, some really strange gift ideas that you won't find at a local department store. Maybe at Ralph's house, but not at a local department store.
To the thousands of people in American business who understand that if you don't make dust, you eat dust, we offer the telecommunication services of Mountain Bell, Northwestern Bell, and Pacific Northwest Bell. U.S. West. Nobody knows the trails better.
Hi, it's me, America's oldest romantic baritone working with America's oldest car company, Burns and Olds. I get top billing. I'm older. Oldsmobile just turned 90. They're nice kids. I'm here to tell you about Oldsmobile's 90th anniversary celebration. You're going to love the values. An opportunity like this comes once in a lifetime. In my case, maybe twice.
Celebrate now with 1.9 APR GMAC financing or up to $1,000 cash back.
If you're in the mood for something weird this weekend, head for Stillwater tomorrow out by Ralph's house.
There's going to be an auction and some very strange items will be sold, including a human skeleton in an open coffin. It will be put on the auction block by a St. Paul man who has spent 30 years collecting unusual antiques. As Pat Kessler reports, the skeleton is only the beginning.
Tom Meister likes to collect, well, things. And we're not talking old baseball cards here.
This is a liquor decanter that has a combination lock on the top of it. The lock drops down in and clips in a groove here. And I suppose that's to keep the husband from nipping when he shouldn't be.
Who had the combination?
Probably the wife.
Need a 5-hole mousetrap? You're in luck. An antique cup from a blind man? No problem. How about a ball and chain?
Okay, this thing weighs about 50 pounds. Yeah.
But if you really want to be remembered by that hard-to-buy-for relative, how about a human skeleton in an open coffin?
This is kind of interesting. I acquired this about 15 years ago, and it's a human skeleton in a pine coffin that's, as far as we know, about 150 years old.
Meister acquired the skeleton about 15 years ago from an elderly Stillwater gentleman.
It was used originally for a fraternal organization in a type of initiation.
It is unusual, and it is legal. The skeleton bones are wired together, which means it probably came from a doctor's office or school. Until now, the most unusual item Colonel Ed Panzagraw ever auctioned off were bachelors at a charity fundraiser.
I was selling bachelors, and now I'm selling a skeleton. So I'm going to have to change my saying to the fact that now I'll sell them dead or alive.
Items like this are hard to find in the first place, but to see them all under one roof is even more unusual. Where else, for example, could you find a 19th century baby buggy for twins and a 1920s automobile dashboard clock with beveled glass? Pat Kessler, WCCO Television News, Stillwater.
Tom Meister says he's had inquiries all over the country about the skeleton. Bids on it are expected to run into the thousands of dollars. You don't suppose that Michael Jackson, who wanted the Elephant Man's remains, will bid?
He didn't? No, probably not. Probably not. That baby buggy, I think it's called a perambulator. Did you know that?
No.